Happy Friday.
Thank you.
So let's get started by bringing our attention to the body, how we're seated in meditation. So we keep our feet flat on the floor, keep our back straight, our torso open. Our hands are in the lap against the body, right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure that we're letting in enough light to stay alert and scan through and release any places where you're holding unnecessary tension in the body, allowing the body to relax without slouching or without leaning, but relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position. And try to feel as though you let go of your engagement with the world outside, and also your engagement with the internal world of the past and the future, pulling away your attention, trying to hold it instead in the present, using the physical sensations that accompany the in breath and the out breath, trying to attend only to these sensations, noticing quickly when distraction arises and without judgment or frustration, lifting your attention from whatever arises in the mind that's not that sensation, and then gently placing it back on that present moment, physical sensation of the air, again and again. And then just establish in your mind an altruistic motivation, thinking that the purpose of your effort is to try to develop good qualities, constructive, beneficial habits, and that the main purpose of doing that is to benefit others. Trying to see your practice as a vehicle for growth and development that isn't for oneself alone. So just try to connect with a broad and altruistic motivation. And today we'll contemplate the last of the six root delusions. This is called, the sixth is called wrong views. But it's important not to think of right view or wrong view in moralistic terms or as judgments in that sense, but rather that some views perpetuate our suffering and some views can bring our suffering more quickly, more effectively to an end. So, some of the ways in which we might have views, we might be clinging to ideas, perspectives that might get in the way. One is to think that the I, the ego identity, is either completely permanent, completely independent, or that it will completely cease at the time of death. To relate to our sense of identity either through the lens of eternalism or nihilism. If we relate to it through the lens of eternalism, then we may not feel empowered to take responsibility and take control of the process of improving or changing our minds. We may think that we're stuck with the way things are, and that we just need to accept. And if we have the view that everything ceases at death, then we may not have the same kind of depth or breadth to our practice that we might otherwise be able to cultivate. We may be satisfied with a more limited view of our practice. So just start by thinking if one or other of those views is something that you're clinging to in some way. Just analyze in your own experience. Another potential area of wrong views is not understanding the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, not thinking that the things that we say and do and think condition the mind in predictable and reliable ways, thinking that only really observable harms to other people matter, and those other times when we're programming the mind silently or in isolation, we may not think that that really counts, really matters. And another possibility might be to be unsure of the Four Noble Truths, or unsure of a path to enlightenment. So, again, analyze, looking back over your life, try to identify if these are some views that are operating for you. See if you can identify where they might be coming from, and try to see if they might not be useful. Do they impact your choices or your decisions or your behaviors in ways that perpetuate painful, confused states? Just try to analyze and reach some understanding. The antidote to this delusion is much the same as it is for deluded doubt, which is to apply ourselves to listening, reflecting, meditating, debating the teachings, really taking a very active role in questioning the material, asking ourselves, do we believe that this is true or not? If not, why not? And actively trying to resolve any doubts. Generally, try to think how much of my life has been colored, influenced by these six root delusions. What would it be like if I could experience connectedness, spaciousness, instead of grasping, patience and compassion, instead of anger and hatred, humility instead of arrogance, confidence instead of doubt, wisdom instead of ignorance, right view and right action instead of wrong view. Try to make a resolve, a determination to become more and more aware of the arising of delusion in the mind, and more skillful at applying the antidotes, to continue to make progress in study, reflection, meditation, and debate until all of these delusions are completely eradicated from the mind. Set that very strong sense of resolve. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And then we'll dedicate. So just think about the virtuous, the altruistic intention that you set, the effort that you made in understanding the delusions. Think that you've created a lot of positive energy that you offer. That energy you offer your practice for the benefit of all sentient beings. Thinking that when this energy ripens, may it ripen in whatever way sentient beings need for all temporary and ultimate peace and happiness. May it serve as a principal cause and condition for my achieving the enlightened state, because that will give me the tools and the ability to perfectly benefit sentient beings. And by having practiced in this way, may that energy completely pacify any hindrances to the long life of all of my spiritual guides. Lama Zopa Rinpoche, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Geshe Sherab, Venerable Rabina, any spiritual guides that we may have, and may enlightened mind, enlightened energy continue to manifest in the world to guide and protect myself and all sentient beings. Thank you.